Sims Nation, welcome to another edition of Warriors Unleashed. I am your host, Positively Pat Sims, and just checking the gain here on my mic or on my headphones. Might have a little weirdness going on here. Sometimes things happen in life, and you've got to be able to adjust and move on, and the cable on my headphones is starting to separate just a little bit. So it may affect my sound for a little bit. But so far, so good. It's great to have you on here, guys, for Warriors Unleashed. This is going to be a very interesting show, and one that I'm hoping you guys really get involved in the live chat, because I really want to hear from you guys. Not only do I want to hear you say hello, which Brad Grigsby, welcome to the show. Samantha Wright, welcome to the show. It's great to have you guys on here. And today we're going to be talking about a very touchy, very sensitive subject for a lot of people, and that is AI. Yep, we're going there. We're heading right into it. Now, we're not here to talk about AI and what it does for making videos and making images and that kind of thing. What we're talking, well, we might touch up a little bit about that, but we're mainly talking about how AI is affecting people in their health, in their fitness, and their mindset. Is AI something that you look at as a good thing? Is it something you look at as a bad thing? Or are you kind of up in the air? There's some people that are kind of indifferent to it because they just are like, I'm not going to use it. I'm old school. I like doing things my way. And then there's those people who are kind of like, I'm kind of biding my time. I want to wait and see where this goes, and I'll just keep an eye on it and make up my mind as I go. And what that's going to take, though, are the people who are out there actually doing a little bit of trial and error with AI to see exactly how it works. All right. And the people that I've noticed, anyway, a lot of the people who come out and are really down on AI are the people who don't really understand it or are really testing the waters with it. A lot of them are very hesitant. What they know of AI, they know from the movies. What up, Maddie, Mr. Marijuana? Lighting one up down under. Thank you so much for joining us here. But yeah, it's just, I think what they're seeing is how they're judging what they think of AI or what they've seen on television, what they've seen in the movies, which is usually doom and gloom for all involved, right? Terminator, The Matrix, AI doesn't really work out for the human race at the end of the story, right? So now, are we headed to doom and gloom? Who knows? Who knows? I'm more of an optimist. I'm more of that time, so I don't really subscribe to that yet. But before we go any further, I want to say a big hello and welcome to all of our listeners over at WANT Radio. A big shout out to you guys. I want to thank you guys all for joining us each and every Friday night. A big hello to Ken and Wendy over at WANT, and to our WANT brother, Benny the Jet Scala. And he's going to be joining us tomorrow on the Positively Pat Sims Show. And I also want to thank everyone, of course, here on YouTube. And again, say hello in the live chat. I want to hear your thoughts on AI in terms of health, fitness, and mindset. All right, because I want you to think of how far AI has come in a very, very short amount of time. AI, just a few years ago, was horrible. It looked terrible. You would put in a prompt to have it create an image of a person waving hello, and it would give them 4 arms. It would have 8 fingers. Its eyes were looking every which direction. Nothing looked natural. Nothing looked good. And now you just skip ahead just a couple of years, and you're having ultra super photorealistic images and videos. You're having companies from China so like C Dance 2.0 that are creating lifelike videos that look like something you would see in a movie theater. And because they're over in China, they don't care about United States copyright, so people go over there and they say put Superman in a fight against Iron Man, and it creates it. All right, and over here it's a little different. You use an American company, they got to go by U.S. copyright, so you can't get away with that kind of thing over here. But it's just jumped by leaps and bounds in a very, very short amount of time. And whenever technology goes by leaps and bounds over a short amount of time, a lot of people tend to get very, very scared very, very quickly. All right, they immediately blow it off, and they immediately are doom and gloom. AI is going too far, and in a lot of cases it is. Maddie says the worst are the fake WWE ones. Undertaker playing PlayStation with the like. There's a lot of videos where people kind of go too far with a lot of them. You've got celebrities wrestling in a WWE ring, and it doesn't look real. It does in a little bit, but it really, once they get going, it doesn't. And then there's some images. Yeah, I've seen where they'll have The Rock and they'll say Attitude Era guys, and they're all playing PlayStation. It's funny, but that kind of thing that's just part of what we see AI doing, right? A lot of us don't see a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So now, Maddie, I want to say right now, so you say you can totally tell how fake AI is. Some people can't tell. There are instances where you're seeing AI, and it's so subtle you don't know it. There are several instances where I've done some things myself where I've put together something and I've shown people and I've said, okay, is this AI or isn't this AI? I've taken a legit photo of myself and just put it through an AI filter and or change something about it, AI, and put it in front of people and say, which one's the AI image? And people either can't tell or they'll just guess and sometimes choose the wrong one. Because it's interesting to me. It's something I want to get to know a little bit. There's a lot of AI stuff that does look very real. And the stuff that looks fake is the stuff that shows you things, to us, that shows you things that you know very well. Okay? The things that you know very well. When you know celebrities, when you know professional wrestlers, when you know anybody in your life that you know, and you see an AI picture, something looks off about it. And so to you, that looks unnatural. All right. Now give it another year, and I would say you might be shocked. Because in another year, AI may advance to a level where it's no longer distinguishable between real life and AI. Right? It's where we thought video games were going to be at this point. It's where we thought VR, virtual reality, was going to be at this point. But yeah, if it's something you don't know, if you were to create an image on AI that you didn't recognize, you might not know that that's AI that you're looking at. And sometimes you can't distinguish AI from CGI, right? Which one is the AI? Which one is created through computer animation that someone created, right? And a lot of people aren't in the know about that, so it is hard to tell the difference. Okay, and it really has advanced that far. It's pretty incredible to see how far AI has actually come. But what a lot of people don't see, okay, everyone sees the images, they see the videos, some of it looks good, some of it looks horrible. But it keeps getting better and better and better and better. What they don't see is what people are using it for behind the scenes for other reasons, things that are actually kind of productive, as opposed to just trying to get clickbaits and trying to get engagement on social media, but which can be productive if you're trying to make a living on social media or YouTube. But the truth is, a lot of people use ChatGPT, Gemini, that kind of thing for legitimate reasons that they might not, or let me kind of rephrase this. They're using it for purposes that they need it for because they're struggling to find what they need in other areas. Okay? For example, not everyone can afford a nutritionist, right? Let's just be real. In today's economy and I mean, ever since like 2008, the idea of a lot of people spending extra money on trainers and nutritionists and that kind of thing has been a little bit less and less, unless you're making really good money. But here in Southern California, that's a little bit more challenging every year because it gets more expensive to live here every year. And our pay rate doesn't go up at the same rate. But here's the thing. People use AI as a tool. And sometimes you go online, right? And let's say you want to look up what is keto? What is the ketogenic diet? If you were to look up what is keto on the internet, you're going to get a bunch of different responses. You're going to get some people telling you that it's this. Some people telling you that it's this. Some people telling you it's this. Some people have these rules for it, these rules. And so going online, which used to be what AI is now used for, is just become so complicated. People have been so put off by what they see online that they're going to these AI things and just going, look, just tell me what to do. And it's inexpensive. With a lot of these cases, you can talk to it for free and get information. Is it always the right information, though? That's the question. That's the real question. Is the information you're getting always right? And I look at AI the same way I look at going to the doctor. Okay? And I'm not putting doctors down now. But how many of you guys have ever gone to the doctor and they've told you something and then you've been told to go get a second opinion? Happens a lot. All right? I went through 4th, 5th, 6th opinions on my shoulder. I just wanted to hear what I wanted to hear. All right? And I look at AI the same way. A lot of people just go to AI to hear what they want to hear. Or they go to AI, it tells them what they asked for, and then they try to do research around it to try to figure out, is what AI is telling me accurate or not? And the thing is really AI is just doing the work you used to do and just taking the information it finds and wrapping it up in a nice little bow and handing it to you, right? So it's going to take like what it sees as being the most relevant, most popular, whatever, and it's going to put that together. ChatGPT does its thing. Gemini is connected directly to Google, so it might be the bit more up to date, right? I don't know for a fact. I don't do that all the time, but people use it for that. I see people using it to help with their meals, to help with their workouts, all kinds of things. And if you've ever used it for that, you might find that you got some helpful information. You might find that you didn't. There's a lot of examples of coding in AI where people have created games and apps by using ChatGPT, by using Gemini, and it's come through with successful results. Are they perfect? No. Are human beings making video games and apps that are perfect? Heck no. So it's interesting. I feel like it isn't really a great advice tool or therapy. And again, I think it depends. All right. I think it depends on how dependent you are on other people's thoughts, other people's ideas, other people's opinions. Because ChatGPT is not, and Gemini, these AI things, they're not presenting naturally these as opinions. They're not telling you, just by the way, based on what I found, this might be the best thing here. This might be it, but look around here. Like if I tell you something about nutrition. I'm going to give you information. I'm going to give you what my knowledge of that is. And then I'm going to say, look, take that and do with it what you will. I always recommend doing your own research, doing your own homework. But you can take mine, put it into play if you want, or make it your own. Do your thing. Right? That's the difference between talking to a computer and talking to a human being. Because ChatGPT is going to present it more as, this is it. Here it is. Now run with it. Okay? But I do know people who have used it and who have used it successfully. Okay? I've used it to help me touch up lyrics for a song. If I'm struggling with a line or I'm struggling with this, I'll say, hey, give me some options on how to finish this line here. Right? Here's the song. Help me out with this line here. And usually it'll give me some options and then it'll click something in my head and I'll come up with my own. Right? I helped it flesh out some in my book here, Vengeance. I used AI to help me flesh out some of the characters, flesh out some of the theology that goes along with the religious aspects of the book to make sure that as I'm writing the book, I stay on target with character development, to stay on target with, like I said, the theology of the characters. And in that sense, it was a very, very helpful tool. Okay? And so, like I said, I think it can be a good tool depending on how you use it. Now, here's the bad part. AI doesn't know you, right? AI is not here. It'll learn you based on what you ask it to do, right? And sometimes that has to stay in one long thread. If you keep creating new threads, then I don't know how well any of these AI systems actually learn you as a person. But it's learning you based on what you ask for, what your feedback is, and that kind of thing. How you talk to it. That's how it's going to learn who you are. It doesn't know who you are as a person. It doesn't know. I mean, you can maybe tell it to learn about you, go online and learn things about you. I'm sure it could do that. But is it really going to know you? No. Is it really going to know your health and fitness? No. Is it going to know your mindset and your mentality? No. Because those are individually yours. Those are things that AI and computers and things will never really, in my opinion, ever fully understand. You know, everyone's always afraid of AI becoming self-aware, but the thing that AI always will be is artificial. It's never real. It's never organic. It is artificial intelligence, which means it doesn't go through the same processes that we do. It doesn't have the same feelings that we do. ChatGPT can insult you without realizing it, and you can tell it insulted you, and it's not going to care. It says the right thing, but it doesn't actually feel. Right? AI doesn't actually go, I'm sorry, and mean it. If AI says I'm sorry, it's because it couldn't give you what you wanted, and I'm sorry is what you want to hear. You can apologize to ChatGPT too, and it won't care. It won't. And there are people, unfortunately, in this world right now that are going to these chatbots, to these AI chatbots and ChatGPT and all of these other ones that you see, Gemini, but then there's all kinds of other ones out there because they feel so disconnected from humanity. They feel so disconnected from the real world that they're escaping into an artificial one. And a lot of people find that to be absolutely insane. They find that to be crazy, but let's stop and think about that for a second. How much of the real world is affecting your mental health? How much of what's happening in the real world is affecting you negatively in your mentality? How many family members or friends have you lost over politics? How many arguments have you gotten into about ICE? Or how many times has someone abandoned you because you went on a health and fitness journey and you got your act together? They saw that, didn't like you making that kind of positive change in their life, and so now you clash friendship or family. separate. The real world can be rough. How many of you have ever been fired from your job for no reason? You were just let go. Cutbacks, whatever. They were like, look, we can't do this anymore. Whew. Done. You know? I used for my Transformation University 2 essay, though all facts were true, what I accomplished, it was like an infomercial. You want to be you, genuine. And I agree with that. It also takes away your time. You can be doing doom scrolling. You could be getting sleep, working out, different world. Yeah, but Brad, to the point there that you're making, I think one of the reasons why ChatGPT, Gemini, and all these AI things are so attractive to people is that it actually gives them more time to do other things. And I'll give you an example, right? You put a prompt in to make a video. You tell it what to do. It does it. You walk away, do something else. You come back in a couple of minutes, boom, your video's done. And what would have been done in hours, maybe days even, done in just a few minutes. I used to spend a lot of time, believe it or not, on some of my crappy thumbnails for YouTube. I spent a lot of time on those. I would spend maybe an hour more on a thumbnail. And that's a lot of time just to spend on a thumbnail for a YouTube video or for an ad for social media, something like that. You put a lot of time into that. And I wasn't even happy really with the results I was getting. And so I just tried AI. And I just said, look, here's a picture of me. Here's what I want. Here's what the show's about. Give me some options for thumbnails. And within just a couple of minutes, I had 6, 7 different prompts for images, and I would try them all in just a couple of minutes again, and I would choose one. And they were always better than what I had come up with, or not come up with, but what I had made, right, in the past. Because I don't have a lot of time and skill to be making the kinds of things that I'm putting out there now. Now, I'm not saying that it's always the best option or it's always the right option, but we do what we need to do to actually open up time to do that. Now, I get people can abuse anything. People can spend too much time messing with AI. People can spend too much time scrolling through social media. They can spend too much time on social media, whether they're interacting with people or not. You know, just flipping through reels. People can spend hours doing that. People can spend hours just going through and liking post after post after post. And, you know, yes, it's all about priorities. What are your priorities in life? How are you balancing out everything in your life? And for me, personally, the way that I use AI in my life now is as a tool to help open up my day, my week, my month, my year, so that I can do things that I know I'm good and capable of doing to the fullest extent. All right. And I'll give you another example. I cannot write music to save my life. I can come up with a tune in my head, but if I keep that tune going and try to hum it and write it down or do something, it inevitably turns into a song I already know. And that's a flaw I have in my songwriting process. And so I know I can write lyrics. I know I can do well at writing lyrics. So I write lyrics and I write lyrics and I write lyrics. And I could go out and I could try to find somebody who wants to write the music for me for free because I don't have money to pay guys to write music because that's a lot of money. So I use AI to help me out. I tell it what kind of a song it is. I tell it what I want to hear. I structure the song. I tell it this is where I want the intro here. I want the first line to start here. I want the instrumentation here. I want solos here. This here. I tell it everything I want. And I structure it out and I lay it out. So for me, the way that I kind of see it is I think that the person using AI should do at least half the work. Right? if you're doing at least half the work, I think you can use AI and not feel like it's doing everything. You can use AI and not feel like overly guilty about it. Does that make sense? Right? And I'm not trying to be an AI defender so much. I'm trying to look at this from a perspective of the good and the bad, right? Because I understand the bad. I understand what the way people don't like it. It's very impersonal. If you want it to help you write something about you, it will 100% of the time not be as good as what you can write about you. Now, you can write your own essay out and then ask AI to take a look at it and touch it up a little bit. Kind of make it a little bit more condensed if you need it, stuff like that. But how would you use AI for half the work in actual working out and health and fitness? Okay, that's a great question. All right, so how would you use AI if for half the work? Well, first of all, whatever you use AI for in health and fitness, it still comes down to you have to do it. So you can ask it to give you workout program after workout program after workout problem. You still have to do the workout. And then you still have to decide if that's a workout that you're cool with. Is that a workout that's effective? Are you getting the most out of the workout that you're doing? Because health and fitness is what? It depends. It's all about you making it your own, owning it, being there and making mind-muscle connections, all that stuff. It's about assessing and reassessing, seeing where you are. AI can't do that for you. You have to do that. That's you putting in the work. The other side of that is what happens before you use AI. And before you use AI to figure out your workouts, before you do health and fitness, it's always good to have experience, real life experience. I wouldn't use AI for music creation, to help me with music creation, if I didn't have the experience of knowing that my ability to create music sucks. Right? I would not use AI for anything I use it for if I didn't need it. The problem that I see with AI is that people are using it just because it's easy. Just because it's there, because that's the world we live in. We talked about this on the show a lot. It's always to people about what's easiest. It's always about those quick results. But health and fitness is not a quick results business. It is a long-term success business. And so AI can be used as a tool, but you have to know what you want. Right? So when you know what works for you, you can tell it, look, I'm really good at this, so I would like to maximize this, but then maybe give me a couple of ideas of things I can do with that on this workout day or this workout day. Or I do DDPY on this day. What can I do to supplement that? That's good. And it'll give you ideas. And here's another thing. Don't just ask ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever you use. Don't just ask it for one thing. Don't just say, hey, I need something to do on Tuesday. Give me something to do on Tuesday. Because it's going to give you one thing. It's going to say, hey, do push-ups. Okay? You have to be able to know what you're talking about. You have to know what you want. So you have to go to AI and say, look, Tuesday is, let's just say, because I said push-ups, Tuesday is chest day. I'm doing very well with flat bench chest press and flat bench flies. Can you recommend 5 or 6 ideas for other chest exercises that I can do, and then tell it what you have to work with dumbbells, adjustable dumbbells, with resistance bands, and then let it give you ideas, options. Don't let AI tell you what to do. Use AI as a tool to give you options. Then you do the work so that you can figure out what works best for you. Now, how is that any different than the way I figured out what I wanted to do by looking up information on the internet, by watching YouTube videos, by checking out other fitness social media accounts, by reading the Arnold Schwarzenegger Encyclopedia for Modern Bodybuilding? Well, I think I just said it. I gave you 5 different things that I used to get all of that information that a lot of people are doing now by typing a prompt in on AI. And things in Arnold Schwarzenegger's book don't always apply to me. There are exercises in there that I've tried that do nothing for me. Or I can't do them because of my shoulder. And a replaced shoulder is not something that people take into consideration when they're doing that. So when I put something into AI, I can say I have a replaced shoulder, so I need shoulder-safe things. And give me a second, because my entire internet just like completely reset on me. It was really weird. So hopefully we didn't lose any signal online. But that was really weird. All my stuff just completely went blank and then popped back up. So hopefully we're still good on there. So let me know if you guys lost any signal or not. So if AI is using, or if YouTube is using AI, it might be hearing my show right now, and it's trying to shut it down. It is self-aware. It's coming for me. But the funny thing is, I'm not anti-AI. I think you can tell. I'm not anti-AI. I just think that people shouldn't use it as a shortcut. They shouldn't use it, and I get that what I said before might make it sound like that. What I mean is for, when people use it, instead of doing at least half the work, they're using it to do all the work, right? But I want to read to you guys some of the things that I got on our Warriors Unleashed Facebook group page, which you can join. It is a private group, but it is open to anyone. You can find it. It's not hidden or anything like that. Just go to Facebook, type in Warriors Unleashed, and you can request to join. Just answer the questions that we have there, and I will let you in. But I basically asked them, who here uses AI to assist them in health and fitness? If so, why? Does it help? And so I want to just read to you some of the ones that were put on here. And it says, I do. This is from Jennifer Thomas, a fellow DDPY warrior instructor. I have used AI to suggest, very important word there, different exercise for lifting. A place I see a lot of value is when I know I'm going out to dinner somewhere, I prompt AI, hold on, I lost my spot, to find menu items that meet my macro targets and accommodate my gluten-free eating style, so I don't have to stare at a menu for 15 minutes. So that's really the thing. So it's used as suggestions, as a helpful tool for it to help you try to figure out macros and things. Because a lot of times, menus are supposed to have a lot of information like that in there, but you can use it to help summarize a lot of things, and you just have to know what you want, know how to talk to it. And yes, Brad, you still have to put the work in. You absolutely have to put the work in. And no shallow victories 100%. I don't think using AI to help as a tool is any different than using any other program to help you, right? A lot of people use apps like MyFitnessPal. It tells you what your calories are. You can put in stuff and it'll just fill in all the blanks for you. You can get an app that tells you what to do every day for your workouts. It's really no different. You're just telling it what you want, and if you know how to talk to it properly, you can get better results. And like I said, if you use your own experience, your own knowledge going into it, then you can get more out of it for you. And then once you've gotten something from it, now you've got to do the work so that you know what is working and what doesn't. All right, how many of you guys have ever done a workout program and it just wasn't for you? I'm going to raise my hand right now. I've done multiple workout programs that just did not work for me. But I wouldn't know that unless I tried them. And I only tried them because it either popped up on an advertisement somewhere, I saw it online, I saw it on television, someone recommended it to me. And so I want to ask you this. How is that any different than AI suggesting it? The really only difference is the human element, whereas if someone knows you well enough to say, hey, I think you might like this, that's the only kind of difference. Otherwise, you're bombarded by advertisements everywhere you go for workout programs, nutrition, all kinds of things based on whatever it is you're looking for. So if you're like me and you're looking up health and fitness a lot, you're going to get advertisements for it. The only real difference is AI's taking all that information that's out there and you put it into the system and it goes, here, how about this? Right? So I'm not saying you don't do the work. I'm always saying you have to do the work. I'm always saying that you want your success to be earned. Right? You want your success, no matter what you're doing, whether you're in film, television, maybe you're writing, maybe you're in music, you're doing social media, you're on YouTube, you're on the radio, whatever it is you're doing, you want your success to feel earned, right? I can use AI to give me topics to talk about. I can use AI to give me, to help me with the Squared Circle game show, to come up with ideas for the match game questions or trivia or whatever I'm trying to do. But I still have to do the show. I don't put a big AI me here and have it do the show. Okay, and that's when I'm cool with AI. I'm cool with AI if it's used as a tool to help you. And again, it's to kind of open you up to do what you're good at. To do the things you want and you need to do. If I didn't use AI the way that I've been using it lately, there would be no book, there would be no album, because I wouldn't have time for any of that. I really wouldn't. All my time would be working out, prepping for shows, because that's what it was. You can ask my wife. A lot of my time was working out, prep for my Saturday show. When I only had a 4-hour Saturday show, work out, prep for the Saturday show, work out, prep for the Saturday show, find time to relax. And people told me I was overworking then. And what AI has done is it's allowed me to open up my time a little bit, so that a lot of the menial tasks that were taking me a lot of time and I wasn't getting great results, I can spend less time on and focus on the things that are a little bit more important. A YouTube thumbnail is important in a sense, but for me, it's the content of the show. It's the way the show looks. It's the way the show feels. It's presenting you guys with a new logo. Okay, it's creating new merchandise products. Like we just came out with a new line of water bottles, so plastic and stainless steel water bottles for all 3 of our current shows. I think they're cool, right? And I'm looking forward to getting them myself. But, you know, life is about finding balance. Life is about living your life to the fullest. And if you're spending all your time doing things, you know, if you want to live the life you've always wanted, if I want to live the life I've always wanted, I wanted to have my own original music album. I wanted to release a book. I've wanted to get my life back and my health back. I've wanted to have successful YouTube shows. The only way that's going to happen is I have to put everything I have into them that I'm capable of doing. Okay? Because I'm, you know, no offense to my wife, no offense to Seth or Owen or anybody else that helps out, but I mean, these are mine. I take responsibility for them. I do the work. I do the work before the shows. I do the work during the shows. My wife, though, I will give her credit right now, is currently prepping for tomorrow's show. And she's not using AI. I think. No, she's not. She's not using it. Because, let's be fair, you don't really need to for what we're doing tomorrow. But I want to keep reading some of these here. Jimmy Numbers says, I used AI to help with dealing with turf toe. Very insightful. Take it with an open mind. AI isn't perfect. And again, we've stressed that. AI isn't. AI should not be the end-all, be-all. It should not be like, oh, I wonder, type it into AI, and whatever it says, you take that as gospel. That's not what we're saying here. Okay? I don't think that AI can replace teachers. I don't think AI can replace you doing your own deal, writing your own work, doing this. I don't think it can replace physical fitness trainers and instructors and coaches. Please. I don't think it should replace hosts like myself. I just don't, because it's not a real thing. It's artificial. You need real. Half the reason I think people tune into my shows isn't the content as much as it is just me. I was told that one time by WANT's Wendy, Wushu Wendy. She told me, she's like, people tune in for you. It's your personality. It's your charisma. It's how you talk about the subject. It's how you approach everything. It's the way you do things. And I tell people the same thing. It's not always what you do. It's how you do it. All right. Robert Stewart says, I use it to calculate and track my macros. Again, it's a helpful, handy tool. It's something that a lot of people could just do a spreadsheet for, but, to each their own. A lot of people are computer illiterate, and AI is very much helping people that are computer illiterate. Before, if you were computer illiterate, you went to YouTube, right? And you looked up, how do I do this? Or God forbid, you just played with it for a while. That was always my way of learning things. I would just get it and just play around with it. And the longer I played around with it, the more I would learn, and eventually I would learn how to do it pretty well. Logic Pro, the way I record my music, I very rarely ever looked up how to do something, because I didn't want to do something the way that other people did them. I want to do things my way, so that it sounded the way I wanted it to sound, did what I wanted it to do. Logic Pro isn't an AI program. It's an audio recording program. But I figured out how to do it. Now, there's some things that I would still like to learn that I'm trying to figure out. And I know some people I can ask for help. But I could also go to AI if I really wanted to. It's just, what do you want? And how do you want to get there? It's up to you. All right, next up, Aurora Mota says this: I'm not fond of AI for other reasons. However, I've seen some really great AI workout videos with detailed explanations. I just feel like this is taking away from human work. If everyone chose AI, then who's financially benefiting from the use of those AI videos? Okay, maybe the consumer, if free, but if paid, then some big corporations will be deep in this sector in no time. I've also learned, and I don't recall the documentary I saw that said this, but I won't ever forget it. He said that depending on where you are in the world at the time of your question in chat, Google, Microsoft search, the response is different. And I think there's always going to be those deals, okay? There's a lot of things about technology, about life, that you have to accept or you have to fight against. Let's be serious. You either have to accept things for what they are, or you have to fight back against it if you feel that it's wrong. I've had conversations with people who freak out over the fact that their phone knows where they are at all times. Okay, to me, I don't care. I don't. If I were a secret agent, or I was a villain or doing something wrong, then maybe I'd care. But I don't care. I really don't. That's not my deal. There's cameras everywhere now. Everywhere. Everywhere. Something can hear you. That's the world we live in. That is the Big Brother society that we are now a part of. You either have to understand that and accept it, or you got to fight back against it. Refuse to use the technology. Get off the grid. Do what you need to do. There's always an option. You always have an option. Brad says, I use for progress charts for my journey, picture collages, changes month by month, the inches lost, BMI progress. Would have taken me forever to use Excel and other programs. Good for that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, for me, I could plug in a spreadsheet and do all of that, which is what I did in 2021. I just use spreadsheets, and I know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to do that. To a lot of people, it might as well be a whole nother language to use, like Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets. People look at that, and it's just shapes and colors, and ooh, look at the pretty, and no knock on them, because, yeah, it can be very, very complicated. Especially for people of my generation. We grew up with typewriters and word processors. The computer was something we learned as it evolved, right? My generation grew up with the green screen Apple computer. Anybody remember that? My wife over there. You remember that? The green screened Apple computer. All the writing was in green letters. You played the Oregon Trail on it. Yep, you had floppy disks. You'd play the Oregon Trail on a floppy disk. That's what we did in school. We would get computer time, and the computer time wasn't to go online. It was to go over, and we usually played Oregon Trail with it. That's what we did. And I remember the first time we had like a full-color computer screen. It was like, it blew my mind. It was like, wow, this is amazing. It's like having another TV. My generation grew up with that. My generation had to learn the internet when it was new. Yep. Our kids today, the internet has always been there. My son, who's about to graduate high school, has never known life without the internet. That's crazy to me. My youngest son, who is now a freshman in high school, has never known what life was like before cell phones. That's crazy to me. My children have never used a payphone. That's crazy to me. And so the people that I think are going to adopt AI the right way, in my opinion, the people that are going to understand it a little bit more right off the bat, are going to be the younger generation, who are a bit more probably open-minded to it because they haven't been exposed to the negatives of AI in the same way that myself and the older generations were exposed to it. What we know of AI is Terminator. What we know of AI is The Matrix. I know. This is all connected. It's all, I mean, you want to joke, but I'm being serious. It's all connected. This is about health and fitness because this is how we use it. It's how we use it in health and fitness. The point that I was trying to make before I got the peanut gallery saying something is that I think that in anything, whether it's health and fitness or your mental state, which we haven't even really gotten into the mental state yet, is the younger generation is going to probably learn and adapt to it better than we will in my generation. Because my generation, I think, has got to that point where we've already learned how to use all of the new things that have come along since we were born. And I think a lot of us are kind of like, all right, like, can we just stop for a minute? Can we slow down? And I think that's why, as you get older, health and fitness is almost like a breath of fresh air. doing the right thing where health and fitness, because health and fitness is not a quick fix. Health and fitness is not instantaneous. It's not a technology-driven industry, though it kind of is in a sense, but it really isn't. At the end of the day, it's about hard work. It's about discipline. It's about dedication. It's about getting it done yourself so that you can be proud of the results, so that you can feel like you earned the results that you got. The most effective way of building muscle is still to pick up a weight and just lift it over and over and over. You want to get flexible, you want to increase mobility, you got to get into positions that are going to stretch the muscles, ligaments, and tendons, and you got to do it again and again and again. It's not a quick, easy fix. You can't. AI, the deal here today that we really want to tell you is it's useful as a tool. It's useful to help you accomplish tasks. It's not here to do the task for you. It's not here to do 100% of the work. It's here for you to do work. Let it give you some helpful advice. Let it help you figure some things out, and then you take it from there and you do the rest of the work. That's what I think can make AI be very, very helpful. I don't want AI to cause people to lose their jobs. I don't want AI to get people in the health and fitness industry to want to pick another job. I don't. I really don't. So maybe I have to think through the way that I do things, and I have to do this or that. But that's life. You know, AI is here, and AI is not going anywhere. I do think there will be what we call the bubble. If anybody remembers back in the day, there was the .com bubble where everybody and their mother had a .com, and then it exploded. Everything was going up, 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 and then it just collapsed, right? And I can see the same thing happening to AI. So what you've got is you've got 8 million different websites right now dedicated to AI, and eventually it's going to become overbearing. Most of them are just going to disappear, and you're going to have a few that are going to try to be really, really good at what they do, and that's it. There's going to be a bubble. It's going to burst at some point. It doesn't mean AI is not going to continue to move forward, but there will be at some point a reckoning for the amount of AI that's out there. And you look at cell phone companies, there was 5 times more of all those different companies and things, maybe 10 years ago. Now you got a few. It's how things go. It's how things work. All right, let's get back to the group here. Margot Lee says, my chat GPT is my second best gym bro. My son is my first. It gives great pep talks and is able to do certain gym math I can't, like figuring when I'm closing in on a personal record based on reps. It also helped me figure where my goal weight may end up being based on where I want to be body fat percentage wise. I haven't used it to work out a split yet because I like what I do. Again, that's you knowing what you like, what works for you. So why have AI replace something that you know is working? But just today, I asked it if working the decline bench would help my bench overall. Spoiler, no. And I responded to that one, and I said, I could have told you that. I could have told you the decline bench thing. But, AI can work, give you daily motivational quotes, reminders. But, I mean, Brad, you got me, bro. What do you need AI to give you motivational quotes? You have me. Every morning at like 5:30, 5:40 in the morning, sending you a morning message saying, it's a new day, which means new opportunities. That's right. That's right, Brad. You don't need AI. You need positively Pat Sims. That's all you need. All right, moving on. And, of course, we do have some negative things here. Liz Savage says, sounds like an awful idea for multiple reasons. Number 1, AI is often very wrong. 2, AI cannot understand your personal physiology. And 3, AI is not certified to train you and is pulling information from random places on the internet. All right, so number one, it is wrong. I don't know if often is the right word, but because of number three, that's when you get some wrong information. It's pulling information from the same places we went to find it. That's why I say, like, AI isn't all that much different than when we did our own research. It's just in one place now instead of 30 different places. Number two, I 100% agree. It cannot understand your personal physiology. It doesn't understand your body, your mind, any of that stuff. So it cannot replace someone that actually knows who you are inside and out. Brittany Ann says, I use it for workouts, specifically if I'm at the gym and needs to substitute because I can't use equipment of some kind and I'm crunched on time. Again, these are helpful things. And because now our phones are starting to be built with this technology within them, you can literally just hold up your phone and say, hey, the chest press machine is broken. Here's what's available to me. What are my options? And it'll give you options, right? So that's very helpful to people. People that don't have a knowledge and understanding of the gym and understanding of different exercises and so forth. And yes, AI is not a physical fitness trainer. But here's another thing that I've said on the show. Neither are half of the YouTube influencers or the social media influencers that you might be taking advice from. You don't have to be a certified physical fitness trainer to start a YouTube channel or to start a social media account and tell people what to do in the gym. Most of the time, it's just they look good in a tank top, and so they decide to go out and give people advice. All right, now, how am I any different? I do have some certifications. I am a certified DDPY instructor. I am a certified DDPY fast track coach. That means I do have an understanding of how DDPY works, how muscle and strength building works. I do understand mobility, flexibility. I do understand nutrition. All right. So I do have some knowledge in this area. All right. And I never tell people you have to do this or it's like it's my way or the highway. You see a lot of social media influencers do that. They jump on and they say, you want bigger biceps? You need to be doing this. And they'll tell you like one or two things and that you have to do if you want bigger biceps. And sometimes there are exercises I've done where I'm like, didn't really do anything for me, right? It's taken me a while to figure out kind of my sweet spot on where I want to be with training biceps, triceps, all of them, right? So I take what anybody says with a grain of salt, not just AI, but anybody on social media that I don't know, right? So, all right. And lastly here, I am the ultimate AI from Benny the Jet Scala, authentic Italian. What's that? Well, there might be more because I let me see.
No, I just like it. It's like from Benny, and I'm like, of course it's from Benny.
Right. Well, I'm just making sure that we got everybody because I know sometimes it doesn't give me everyone. But, yeah, that's everybody. But there is one more on a different post that we did from my buddy Chris Hall. I want to read what he wrote. It was on the where I was asking people if they wanted to leave any comments or questions for the show here. And Christopher Hall says, my perspective is that it is not a nutrition or a certified fitness trainer. So you can't take anything AI gives you as an exact science. It will not substitute consulting with a doctor, therapist, nutritionist, or trainer. But if you know your science, educate yourself on what you're doing and what you're using it for, I think AI can be used as a tool to help us achieve our tangible human goals faster. So very well said. Actually, very well said. Like very, very much better than how I said it. So yeah, very, very cool. Loved the interaction with all of our group members for this AI show. But before we jump off, like we've talked about a lot of things on this show. We've talked about the health and fitness aspect. One of the things we haven't talked about a lot is the mentality side of things. And that's, I think, where AI kind of scares me more than anything else. Okay? Because we've seen people become very detached from society. We talked about this earlier. People see what's going on in the world. They see what's going on in their own families, with their own friends, and they're thinking, why? Why should I be interacting with humanity? I mean, all humanity is doing is dividing itself. All humanity is doing is tearing each other down. Why do I want to be a part of that? They don't see groups like Warriors Unleashed, where we're positively helping people. We're more optimistic. We're seeing things in the world in a different way. We're trying to make things better for not just ourselves, but for others. And so they need an escape. They're trying to get away. And your mind is so powerful. The mind is more powerful than your body ever will be. And I know people who, for better or for worse, we kind of hit up on this a little bit earlier, who have gone to chatting with AI because you can steer a conversation with AI. You can steer a conversation so that AI doesn't judge you, so that AI doesn't abandon you because you have a certain viewpoint or you are a certain political affiliation or something like that. AI is not going to curse at you and tell you that you're wrong. AI, for how you feel anyway, AI has become comfort food for people that aren't getting that in their personal life, who aren't getting that at home, who aren't getting that with their friends, who aren't finding it on social media. And that's where I am concerned, because we should be reaching out to those people. We should be helping those people. Those people shouldn't have to look to artificial means for comfort, for looking for artificial means of support. That should come from the people that are actually close to you in your real life. And that's where I think humanity is dropping the ball. This is where I think AI is going to really become a problem. I'm not worried about AI as far as taking over the world. I don't worry about AI as what it can do for, special effects and CGI and image creation, and whether it can write a novel or not, or whether it can do this. What I worry the most about AI is that human beings are going to use it to disconnect from other human beings on a emotional, personal, and intimate level. You have people and I'm sure they're doing it here, but you've seen probably Japan working on these as realistic as possible people. And then if you get AI to the point where you can just input that, you know how many millions of people are just going to abandon human contact and just go with that? A person that you're never going to have to fight with, which that to me sounds boring. A person that you're always going to see eye to eye with, who's always going to like the things that you like, until eventually they program it to have its own personality, and then maybe you won't. But how interested are you going to be at that point? I don't know. That's where I worry. There's a movie called Her with Joaquin Phoenix where he basically falls in love with his phone because the AI on there is like everything he wanted from a woman except the obvious part. But yeah, I worry that we're getting to a point where a lot of people are only going to want actual human physical contact for procreational reasons. And once somebody comes up with something lifelike enough that can combine AI technology with the physical thing, I think we're going to be in trouble. And that's just me, because that's the only time I find it hard to be optimistic about it. There is nothing that any company could ever create that could ever even come close to replacing everything in my life that my wife does and represents for me. She is my world. She is everything to me. She is the reason that I'm sitting here today. When, she is my support. She is my rock. She is my backbone. She has stood by me through my worst, and she has cheered for me at my best. And I have tried every day to return that favor. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed. But to tell me that anyone would want to replace that with an artificially created voice or synthetic person, that's where I draw the line. All right. And I've seen I think they're the Optimus things, whatever they are, the Elon Musk had, that are basically like little handy robots and stuff like that. Like I don't know how I feel about those. I really don't. Like, I think because those are things that I'll never really have to think about very much, because when will I ever probably afford one, right? Self-driving cars, that, all these crazy things that AI is giving to us, right? And people, again, my generation and older, are like, I don't trust that. I don't trust self-driving anything. I barely trust actual people driving. Why would I trust an artificial intelligence driving? But I think before we can either accept or freak out about AI, I think it's important to remember that this health, fitness, and mindset journey is all about us, and it's all about us doing what's right for us. You've got to think about, what is it that you want to get out of this experience? What is it that you need to get out of this experience? Do you need assistance with this or that? What's the best way to get that assistance? Is AI the best option for getting that assistance for you? Is contacting your friend or your family member, is that the best way of getting what you need? That's, I think, what we need. We need to use our brains. We need to use our hearts. We need to understand that this is our journey. Okay? And here's the last thing I'm going to give you guys. So remember, this is your journey that you're on. This is your adventure. If you want to use AI to help you in that journey and help you in that adventure, it's no different than if you want to use DDPY, if you want to use P90X, whatever it is you want to do. It's your decision. People like me, we're just here to talk to you, to give you information, maybe give you some inspiration from time to time. But it's your decision at the end of the day. Just make sure you're doing what's right for you. And what's right for you, hopefully, isn't always just doing what's quick and what's easy. It's about doing what's effective and what's efficient. That's what it's all about. It's about setting yourself up today to have a better tomorrow, and to do that each and every day. Every day you wake up in the morning is a new opportunity to do great things. Can AI help you? Sure it can. Should it be the only way? No. Because they're not your great things if it's the only thing that's doing the work. You're not the one earning it. So make sure you're doing the work. Make sure you're doing the work before. Make sure you're doing the work during. Make sure you're doing the work after. And if you are going to use AI, just know it's just like anything else in life. It's not perfect. It makes mistakes. So use it safely, use it carefully, and make it your own, just like with anything else. All right, so that's going to do it. I know we just kind of went off on it, but AI is kind of a tricky subject for a lot of people. I hope you got something out of this today. If you did, drop me a comment, drop me a line in the chat if you're still on here, which a few of you are. So good to see you guys. And again, a big thank you to everybody who listens to any of our Positively Pat Sim shows on WANT Radio. Before we take off, I do want to give you some couple of reminders. First of all, tomorrow, Brad says, great show. This is me, not AI. Yes, sir. There is no one that can replace the one and only Brad Grigsby. Tomorrow on the Positively Pat Sim show at 7 a.m. on the West Coast. That's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. For 2 hours, we're going to be talking about part 4, the final part of our What Makes Each WrestleMania Worth Watching as we continue our road to WrestleMania 42. On tomorrow's show, we're going to be covering WrestleManias 31 through 41. And then we only have 2 more shows until we get to our big 4-hour preview show on April 18th. But before that, we will have a special Squared Circle WrestleMania 42 edition episode. That's going to be a lot of fun. We still got a lot of great stuff coming on. If you're a fan of pro wrestling, you're going to want to be where all the great pro wrestling fans go, the greatest Saturday morning professional wrestling show on the planet. All right, and then from there, as you can see right behind me here, Vengeance is available right now. My first and so far only novel that I've written. Vengeance, a thrilling story of faith, revenge, and redemption, is available now on Amazon, on Kindle, paperback, and hardcover. And next Friday, April 3rd, is not only my 5-year DDPY anniversary, but it is also going to be the debut of my very first all original album of songs. We have had an album before, but that was comedy and sketch comedy, which is no longer available, as we are going to be focusing on music. But this is Catching Stars, available April 3rd on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere that you stream your music, featuring such songs as Positively Unstoppable, I Feel Alive, This Is Your Song, I Need You, and more, and features special guest artists like my wife, Kimberly Sims, Jacqueline Quaylar, and my good friend, Kelly Early. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for jumping on here. And don't forget, head on over to positivelypatsims.printful.me. I don't have any thumbnails for it because I messed up the ads and they all say .com. But it's positivelypatsims.printful.me. And you can find all of our Warriors Unleashed merch as well as our other shows. And you can check out our all-new Positively Pat Buddies, which are these amazing pillow buddies like wrestling buddies from back in the day, and our brand new water bottles, both plastic and stainless steel, with straw, the little sippy straw included. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you jumping on. Samantha Wright, Brad Grigsby, Matt, Mr. Marijuana, my wife, Kim Sims, everybody at WANT, and everyone who's joined us here on YouTube. Thank you so much. And don't forget what we always say, and that is, Warriors, get inspired to be an inspiration. So long, everybody. I'll see you next week on Warriors Unleashed, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Positively Pat Sim Show, only on WANT Radio, where if you want it, we got it, and live streaming on YouTube. See you then.
Lights are dim, but the room still hums with the echoes of laughter and the moments we spun. Every honest word is like a stone in a stream. It rippled, it lingered, it shaped our dream. And if you ever wonder where I'll be, look to the screen, I'll be there, you'll see. Goodbye to the faces that stayed in the glow. Goodbye to the voices I always coffee stains and late night calls. We built a world behind these walls. And if you